Deep in the mountainous heart of Miyazaki Prefecture, where the valleys run steep and the forest presses in from every direction, lies a village that time has touched very gently. This is Shiiba, one of the most remote inhabited places in all of Japan. Shiiba village sits at elevations of up to nearly 1,000 meters, cradled between the Kyushu Mountains and the headwaters of the Mimikawa River. For most of its history, it was accessible only by treacherous mountain paths. The outside world was something people heard about, not visited. Legend holds that some of Shiiba's earliest settlers were survivors of the Tara clan, the losing side of the Great Genpei War of the 12th century. Defeated by the Minamoto, scattered remnants of the Tara fled into the mountains of Kyushu, where their descendants are said to have lived in hiding for generations. Whether or not the legend is entirely true, it has deeply shaped Shiiba's identity. The village's Haika-honjin, the supposed headquarters of those ancient refugees, remains one of the area's most visited historical sites, a place where mythology and mountain history intertwine. But what makes Shiiba truly unique in Japan, and the world, is its living tradition of slash-and-burn agriculture, known in Japanese as yakihata. While this ancient farming practice has vanished from almost everywhere in the developed world, in Shiiba it still survives. Each spring, farmers select a steep hillside, cut back the undergrowth, and wait for it to dry. Then, with careful attention to wind and weather, they set it alight. The ash enriches the thin mountain soil with minerals and nutrients that would otherwise be absent. Into this freshly burned earth, farmers plant a rotating cycle of crops: buckwheat, millet, barnyard grass, and soybeans among them. Each crop depletes the soil in a different way, so the fields are rotated year after year before being left fallow and returned to forest. The result is a landscape of extraordinary variety: terraced yakihata fields cut into steep hillsides, patchwork patterns of black soil and new green growth, ancient farmhouses with steep thatched roofs clinging to ridgelines. Shiiba is a living agricultural museum unlike anywhere else on Earth. The architecture of Shiiba reflects centuries of adaptation to a demanding environment. The Churotomi traditional house, preserved in the village, demonstrates the craftsmanship of mountain builders who worked without nails, using only fitted timber and thick layers of locally harvested thatch. Shiiba's folk performing arts are equally distinctive. The Yusudeko, the mortar drum dance, is performed at festivals and ceremonies, its deep rhythms echoing across the valley walls. These traditions have been passed down through generations and are now recognized as important cultural properties. Today, Shiiba faces the same pressures as remote mountain communities everywhere: an aging population, outmigration of young people, and uncertainty about the future of ancient practices. But the village has chosen to face these challenges by embracing its identity rather than abandoning it. Shiiba's yakihata tradition was registered as a globally important agricultural heritage system by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Recognition that what has been preserved here is not just a local curiosity, but a piece of humanity's agricultural heritage. In these mountains, the old ways refuse to die.